Hello everyone, my name is Chef Avin. I'm the co-founder and director of Lavon Academy of Baking Science and Pastry Arts. Hope everyone is safe and at home. Today I'm going to make one of my most delicious recipes that I have ever made, the Russian honey cake, and it's an eggless version too. And today I'm going to use this special ingredient of mine, that is the Nestlé MILKMAID, and I'm using this as a substitute for the eggs. So this is an eggless version of Russian honey cake. This is one of my favorite recipe. I'm sure that you will be tempted enough to make this at home. Stay safe guys, stay home. Let me introduce to the ingredients that is required for this recipe. Very simple recipe. These ingredients are, I'm 100% sure it is available at home. And for this recipe we need about 2.5 cups of flour and about a quarter teaspoon of salt, a pinch of it. About half cup of sugar. You can use any sugar, doesn't mean that it has to be a caster sugar really. Baking soda and baking powder. About 2 teaspoons of baking powder and about 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That is the first part of the recipe. The second part of the recipe, you need about 2 cups of milk. You need about half cup of refined oil. Please be free enough to use any kind of oil. About quarter cups of butter, which we are going to melt it. About 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. About 1.5 teaspoon of vinegar. Okay, and my most favorite ingredient, that is the Nestlé MILKMAID. So I'm using almost about half cup of MILKMAID. That's about 200 grams of Nestlé MILKMAID for this recipe. So there are 3 parts to this recipe. First, making the cake, and the second part is making the honey syrup, and the third part is making the jam sauce. So for making the cake, first we have to melt the butter. So we have almost about 125 grams of butter. That's almost about 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to melt this. While it is getting melted, um, let's mix the ingredients. For this, we are going to mix all the dry ingredients together and all the wet ingredients together, and then we are going to combine this together, that the wet and the dry ingredients. It's the simplest recipe that you can ever see. Okay, so for this you need a bigger bowl. So I'm using a tabletop bowl. I'm going to add the milk. To this I'm going to add the refined oil. Please be free enough to use any refined oil. It could be almond oil, it could be coconut oil, it could be anything, any refined oil. To this we are going to add the most favorite part of this recipe, that is the milk meal. Okay, how many of you have waited for this particular instance to come so that you can lick it? I used to wait for my mother to pour it from the bowl while making the cake, so that whatever is left out on the bowl was mine. So I used to wait for this. So this is going to bring a lot of nostalgia for me, because my mom used to make this while we were small. So this is a very special recipe. So I want all of you to try this also. So today, because of the camera, I'm not in a position to lick it, but I'm going to add this entire Nestle MILKMAID to this. Okay, I'm going to add the vanilla essence and the vinegar. and the butter that we have melted. So we have about quarter cup of butter that we are going to add it. What you can do is you can wait for the butter to cool down a bit, but it doesn't matter. You can directly add the butter into the wet mixture. Okay, now what you need is a whisk to combine all the ingredients together. Don't worry about it if you don't have a whisk. Use a spatula, use a spoon, use a ladle, whatever it is convenient for you, whatever is available at your homes. um, it's a tension-free recipe, guys. It is a straightforward recipe, so don't worry about this. Okay, so while this is mixed together, I'm going to combine all the dry ingredients together. Are you with me, guys? Okay, so the flour is sifted with salt. I'm going to add baking powder and the baking soda together. Make sure that your place is clean and tidy. No one should tell that you guys were working on this table, so it has to be as clean as it should be. Okay, I'm going to combine all these ingredients together. And what is that ingredient that is left out in this recipe? It's the sugar, of course. So we are going to add the sugar. So I'm using caster sugar. Um, you can use any sugar that you want. If you're using a brown sugar, just use half the amount of the sugar. And also I've substituted the eggs in this recipe for the mass to try this. So I've reduced the sugar also, in case if you're using the egg, then I will give you more tips by the end of this recipe. Okay, so we are going to combine this recipe, all these ingredients together. That is the flour, baking powder, baking soda, sugar, and salt. Are we good? Okay. So now what is left out? Just add all these ingredients, that is all your dry ingredients, to the wet ingredients, and then we are going to combine this. Are you guys ready to bake with me? No? If not, get ready. So this is the easiest recipe that anyone can do for you guys. So now this entire ingredients are combined together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to strain this so that there are no lumps of the flour present in the mixture. Okay? Okay. So now what's the next procedure is very simple process. This is something which is available in all the houses. This is strainer. So what we are going to do is, for a smooth batter of the cake, we are going to strain this. Very simple. What you do here is take another bowl, and strain this. That's it. That's about it. It's not a complicated process at all, is it? Is it? No, it's not a complicated process. This will ensure that the cake batter is smooth. And also, if you want to sieve the flour before you do this process, go ahead and do that. You don't have to do this straining part. Are you guys with me? No? So after the straining of the batter, you get a smooth batter like that. Okay? So, and it is ready to bake. Before you bake, you have to preheat your oven. So I have preheated the oven at 180 degrees Celsius. And what I'm going to do here is, I've already lined a frame, a steel frame. You can use a cake tin to do the same. What I'm going to do here is, it is already been greased and it has been lined from all the sides. and I'm going to pour the batter that we strained into this. At 80 degrees Celsius, I'm just transferring to this preheated oven. The second part of the recipe, we are going to make the honey syrup, which is one of the most integral part of this recipe, because with this we are going to soak the cake that we have sent it for baking. So for this we need about half cup of water and about 3 tablespoons of honey. That's almost about 45 grams. So 1 tablespoon is 15 gram, 1 teaspoon is 5 grams. So this is almost about 3 tablespoons. That makes it 45 grams of honey. And about quarter cup of sugar that goes inside here. Again, you can use any type of sugar. You can use coconut sugar, palm sugar, not jaggery, because the jaggery is not going to work out because the sweetness level is different, but you can use any type of sugar. Okay, so we have combined, I will repeat this again for you. We have combined the sugar, honey and water together to make the honey syrup. Remember where we are going to use this? We are going to soak our cake with this particular honey syrup, and it soaks it, and that is what the most integral part of this recipe is. So stir it till the entire sugar dissolves. Now bring it to a boil. Don't add any more sugar or any more honey to this, because if you're going to add the honey to this, you will not get a mixture which is we will not get a syrup which is enough for it to soak up the entire cake. The cake won't take the, the the syrup, because um, the consistency of this, the fluidity of this liquid is also very important. So more amount of honey that you are going to add, higher time the cake takes it to absorb. Okay, what I'm going to do is, once it comes to a boil, I'm going to reduce the temperature a bit, so that it combines the entire ingredients and bring it to the fluidity that I'm looking forward. Okay, so give an occasional stir to this syrup, and voila, it's almost ready. Another 2 more minutes and we are out. Hope you guys are enjoying what we are baking today. Thank you so much for joining with me. And there is one more process to this. So as I said, there are 3 parts to the recipe. One is making the cake, the second one is making the honey syrup, and the third one is making the jam sauce. Okay, are you with me? Okay, so and that's about it. Can you see the consistency of this liquid? We are going to switch off the power, and we will allow this entire mixture to cool down a bit. Okay, while this is cooling down, let's make the third part of the recipe, that is making the jam sauce. For making the jam sauce, you need just 3 tablespoons of any mixed fruit jam. I'm using a mixed fruit jam. You can use apricot, you can use any type of jam that you have, and a bit of water. So I will be using almost about 25 to 35 ml of water to cook this entire jam together. Okay, so the third part of the recipe, as I told you, this is making the jam sauce. There's any type of jam and about 25 ml of water. I've taken about 3 tablespoons. That's almost again about 45 grams of mixed fruit jam here. I'm going to add the jam here. add some water. Does it mean that you should have a commercial jam? You can make your own jam at home. But the red color is a very attractive one because of the higher wavelength. So I'm using red color uh, jam, that is your mixed fruit jam, and the coconut on top. Wow, it is going to be an amazing vision to see it. And this is for sure. This is something everyone can do at home. Very easy executable recipe, straightforward recipe. There is no trick behind this. Straightforward. I want everyone to try this at home, and let me know how you guys did it. Okay, so this has brought to a boil. Uh, we are going to boil this for another 30 seconds or so. Don't overboil it. If it is going to be dry, then we cannot apply it on the cake. So ensure that the water is already being maintained. Can you see the consistency? And please don't put your hands into it and lick it, because it is going to be really hot, and I'm guarantee you that this is going to burn your tongue. Okay, so don't do that. So once you bring it to this consistency, that is jam and water is mixed together and put to a boil, we are going to keep this aside to cool it down. Okay, and let's have a recap of what we did till now. What we did was we made a cake. We combined all the dry ingredients and wet ingredients together. We are baked it at 180 degrees Celsius. While it is baking, we made the honey syrup. We also made the jam sauce. Don't go away. I'm just going to check how the cake is turning out to be. Whew. Have you seen the bake cake? Wow, it has come out really well. Now you have to cool it for about 20 minutes. So I'm already having another one which has already been cooled, and it has been kept so that I can engage you guys better. I'm going to remove the top part of this cake. Okay, what you do here is very simple process. This is still warm. Okay, but I would advise you guys to take at least 1 hour so the entire steam inside it goes up. Poke it using toothpicks or a skewer. We are doing this for one simple reason. The reason is that when you are going to brush the honey syrup, it soaks really well. Yeah. Okay, so same thing, we are going to soak the cake that we made with the honey syrup that we made. We are going to apply the jam sauce on it. Hope you guys are enjoying the baking with me. So once we soak the entire thing with the honey syrup, we are going to apply the jam sauce on it. Be generous enough to apply how much ever you can. Um, it is going to just enhance the taste. Once it cools down, we are going to refrigerate this. Then it is going to be a great slice of honey cake for you all. Hope you guys are enjoying the baking with me. And this is going to go inside the refrigerator for next 15 minutes. Then this is desiccated coconut. This is one of those um, most tasteful part of this recipe. And I hope you guys enjoyed baking with me. And if you have any questions, please do ask us. We'll be more than happy to help you guys out. I know the lockdown is not going to treat you well, but then too, stay safe, stay home. Thank you so much.